earlier today. Ready to start?
Yep.
Connor Bovair was outstanding. I thought he got better. He has best innings at the end. Thought his stuff got better. We talk about that. Getting better as you go. That's the mark of a starting pitcher. I didn't think we played well, but we played well enough to win the game. I was disappointed with our bats. After Stokely hit that home run, I thought our bats were awful. Just talked to our guys about it, and we'll be better there. Sometimes that can happen in baseball. You can get a little stagnant offensively. But I've never seen a bad win early in the season. I also thought Kobe Wilkerson was, I don't know how many balls he had hit to him, but there were a lot, and he made every single play. So, good win for our guys.
Can you talk big picture about the evolution of Bovair's careers? Things at Siena didn't always go great, didn't go always go great last season, but he's really seemed to find a groove.
Yeah, at Siena, I thought he had a good year. I think he might have been the freshman of the year in the league, but he had some ups and downs. And then last year again. But if you look at Connor Bovair last year, every game he pitched in for us was close against a really good opponent, against a really good team. And he's worked. He's committed himself to the work ethic he needs to have, and he's being rewarded for it.
I'm asking about this, but how much do you think that move to the bullpen just kind of did help him out a little bit in terms of maybe kind of being more progressive, I guess, in things?
Yeah, with my experience as a pitching coach, I try to remind these guys, like sometimes when you go from bullpen to starter, you have a different mentality and you really shouldn't. The hitters are too good in this league. You have to throw every pitch with conviction. You can't try to pace yourself, because as soon as you do, if you're a guy that's sitting 91, 92 and you take off and it's 88 and it's a mistake, it's not coming back. With that 91, 92, it might come back. But that experience is valuable, not just for him, but for our team, because he could have to go back to the bullpen in a big situation, or he could be like a reliever like we've had, like Alex White. We get to Omaha if we're fortunate, and we get in a loser's bracket, and you need one of your starters to be a guy that can help you out of the bullpen. But I'm proud of those two guys, because after the first weekend, we challenged them about giving us some length. And I'm a firm believer with 6 days, you should be able to go out there and throw 100 pitches every single time and be effective. Minimum of 6 innings. I'd like for you to get into the 7th. So both those guys did a good job of that.
When did he earn the Saturday spot? Was that preseason? Was it in the fall?
Yeah, we just felt like his experience. We worked him as a starter most of the time, and he threw really good in the preseason. And we felt like we had some pieces for our bullpen, because he's also got closer written all over him. But even though we lost some games, we feel like Peterson's starting to settle into that role. If we can, not use him until the 8th or the 9th, he's got electric stuff. And we also felt like Matty Mathias could do that, because he has that cutter that can keep you off the fastball. And obviously, that was probably a mistake that I made against East Carolina, not using Matty. But you learn from those mistakes. So he had a great preseason. He deserved it.
So getting to Peterson is going to be pretty big.
Yeah, Peterson or Matty. And other guys, it's what were we, 7-3? 8-3? Okay, so you play 11 games, and I've been doing it long enough to know I don't get too excited if guys are like unbelievable, and I don't get too down if guys aren't good, because it's going to change. There's going to be somebody that hadn't played hardly at all that will have a huge impact on our team, and there'll probably be a pitcher that does the same thing, and roles will change. We'd like to get to Petey, but if we feel like the best thing to do is to go to him in the 6th to, bridge the gap or to kill the momentum, we'll do it. We feel like some other guys. You got a guy like Dalton Pence, hasn't pitched great yet, and some others, but they're going to pitch good.
There are some numbers, obviously, to like so far. Look at the 22 home runs or 7 starts, I think now 5+. But
yeah.
The one number that I was looking at is I think it's 73 strikeouts and 70 walks, so almost a 1-to-1 ratio so far. Just how important is that? Is that simply just having a more veteran group 1 through 9, or is there more to that?
I think buying into what we're trying to do. Don't be afraid to take a pitch. You want to be aggressive. You want to be ready to swing, but you also got to hit mistakes. Good hitters, great hitters hit mistakes. And sometimes if you go at tonight, today was a great example. Innings 6 through 9, we just swung at bad pitches. We didn't swing at balls right down the middle. We made weak contact with balls that were borderline balls or strikes. So it's something we work on every day. Same thing with getting hit by pitches, because I think we have almost 20 staying in there. You got all this protective gear. So I consider a hit by pitch just like a walk. It's a single. And you have to make sure guys, you have to remind them when they struggle, because then they're trying to hit their way out of the struggle. And what we're preaching is get yourself on base, and that'll get you out of your struggle.
Good.
Thanks.
Good to go?
Thanks,
Thanks,
Coach.
Coach.
All right, thank y'all.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
CV?
Oh, yeah.
Connor, can you talk about the evolution of your career? I mean, you're freshman of the year at Siena, but maybe didn't always go smoothly there, and then a little bit better last year, and then really good this year.
Yeah, I think just the biggest part of that is like dealing with the struggle, like dealing with the adversity, like you said. Like at the end of the year, that award, it was great and all, but there was definitely some rough spots throughout the year. And then last year, the same thing. There was some ups and there was some downs, and I think that's just helped me kind of go into this year and this fall and spring, just like understanding that adversity is going to hit and just the best way to deal with that. And it's kind of helped me throughout the way so far.
And you feeling confident out there?
Yeah, I think that's a big thing, is just being confident out there, like saying to yourself, like, my stuff's better than the hitters, and just kind of understanding, like, my one goal is to get this one hitter out, and whatever happens after that is.
So no big deal for you that you've earned the Saturday starter spot?
Yeah, I think just week to week, just working hard and whatever role they put me in, whether it be moving up to Saturday, or I know Coach Forbes mentioned like me going to the bullpen if needed. Just kind of working hard in whatever role they put me in. Just kind of do my best there.
Connor, Coach kind of talked about that. He thought your final few innings were your best. What do you think really clicked in those final few?
Yeah, he. I think it was after my fourth inning. Yeah, he pulled me aside and he just kind of said, like, you know, I don't want to say you're holding back, but I know you have more in the tank, and kind of talked to me about not pacing myself and just going after one inning at a time. And I think that kind of registered to me with, like, not looking forward, not trying to get into the seventh or eighth or whatever it may be, just kind of taking that one inning and emptying the clip that inning. And then if they put me out, I know that Coach Gaines pulled me aside like after the sixth or the fifth inning, and he said, you have one batter, like if you want a second batter, you got to earn it. And I think that was big for me, just like letting me attack that hitter to earn that, where throughout the first four innings I was kind of trying to pace myself and get into the later game, and I think that it worked out those last two.
How does that manifest itself after the talk? Just being more aggressive, pounding the plate?
Yeah, just knowing, like, for me, when he said that, just kind of understanding. He told me, you know, act as if you're closing. Kind of go after that one inning and make sure that one inning is your best. And then if we put you back out there, then make sure that inning is your best, where, like I just said, like, the first four innings I was just trying to pace myself, and you can't really do that, because if you just attack one inning at a time, that's when you look up and it's the seventh, eighth inning.
Like Coach was kind of talking about, when you're shifting from starter to bullpen, you really don't want to have like a super big change in mindset and everything. But at the same time, I mean, you go back to last year, you know, when you moved out of the rotation, your coach talked at that point that he felt like you were maybe kind of nibbling around the strike zone a little bit, and obviously down the stretch last season, that completely changed.
Yeah.
For you, I mean, to get that experience in the bullpen, I guess kind of get back to that, I mean, just how important was that kind of
Yeah.
into this year?
Yeah, I think that was really important. That whole, like, nibbling at the strike zone, I think that has a lot to do with confidence. Last year I was kind of on my toes about, like, oh, I'm getting hit, and I started doubting, like, the stuff that I had, thinking that it wasn't as great as I may have thought. And then once you get more confident, you can kind of go right after hitters, and you have that confidence level of not only yourself but the stuff that you have. And I think that makes a huge difference in terms of, like, if you understand your stuff is good and it's playing well, it makes it so much easier to attack the strike zone, rather than if it's kind of getting hit, you feel like you have to be perfect with every pitch, and you don't.
What was going well? Fastball, slider?
Yeah, fastball, slider was good today. I threw a couple changeups, but they had some good takes on that, and I left it up quite a bit. So we didn't use that too much, especially since they were hitting, I think, 7 righties, opposed to ECU, who hit 8 lefties, where that was kind of a day where I needed my changeup. Today was, Coach Gaines kind of said before the game, like, you're going to need your slider this weekend. So just kind of working off that.
And I understand that you've only thrown more pitches than that against St. Peter's. Is that right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Was that a win?
Yeah, I think it's, yeah, and I went over 100 a couple times, but I think that was the first time here I've gone over 100.
You talked last week about kind of, you know, being able to watch Max's start a little bit, kind of, you know, obviously with the changeup, especially kind of build off of that. I mean, being able to follow him and everything, the way he's been pitching as well, I guess just kind of how does that maybe make your job maybe a little bit easier?
Yeah,
kind of
it helps me a ton. Me and Max are good friends, so last night we were just hanging out together, we grabbed dinner, and you know, I'm just kind of week to week asking him, like, what he saw versus, you know, what I saw worked for him, and he kind of told me, you know, like, you're gonna have success with the slider if it's on. The heater, you're gonna blow by guys because they're gonna be sitting on the slider, and I think that watching him on Friday night, basically has the same arsenal as me, fastball, slider, changeup. I can kind of see what worked for him that night, and you know what they spit on, what they took good swings at, and kind of base my outing off that.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Good on.
Thank
Thank you guys.